Congratulations, Patrick. You have successfully reviewed Saw 3. But your test is still not over. You have to review Saw 4. Whether you pass or fail depends solely on your willingness to comply. Make your choice.
Hey guys, Goosebumps Gamer here. Today we're going to be reviewing Saw 4. Released in 2007, is the first film in the Saw franchise not written by Leigh Whannell, and is the last Saw film ever to be directed by Darren Lynn Bousman. Let's begin. The film opens with somebody doing an autopsy report on the deceased body of John Kramer. They find a tape inside his kidney, and it was a message for Mark Hoffman, the character from the last film. They play the tape, and it says, "Oh, my work will continue even though I'm dead." And then we jump ahead to another game being played in a mausoleum. Two guys. One, his name is Trevor, whose reason for being tested is unknown, and the other is a man named Art Blank, who is a lawyer who defended guilty people. Trevor's eyes are sewn shut, and Art Blank's mouth is sewn shut too. And he has to get the key that's on the back of Mark's neck. And there's no tape or any messages to help them get through the challenge. So the machine activates, and they try to kill each other for the tape. Art wins, and he rips his mouth. And then we are introduced to another character named... We're introduced to Officer Rigg, who's the character from the last two movies, and he is desperately trying to find the exact location and whereabouts of his best friend, Detective Eric Matthews. Detective Eric Matthews, Mark Hoffman keeps telling him, "Oh, he's been missing for 6 months, it's time for you to just get over it," but he won't get over it. And we meet two new characters. Their names are Agent Perez and Peter Strahm. They investigate the scene of Carrie's trap, the angel trap, where find her body, and they try to think on who could have helped out John Kramer and Amanda Young. Officer Rigg goes home to his wife, who leaves him because he's too obsessed with helping people. He tries to reason, says, "You can't save everybody," but Officer Rigg's like, I can save everybody, you're just getting in my way. So Officer Rigg wakes up in... Officer Rigg, he's sitting in his bed, he's very depressed, and he hears somebody inside his house, and then he gets kidnapped by Pig Mask. He wakes up in his bathtub, and Jigsaw comes on TV, and he has a test set out for him, is to try and understand that he cannot save everybody. The first test is a woman who was a prostitute, and she was strapped to a chair which would pull off her scalp if Rigg didn't act fast. And what else happened? Rigg tries to stop the machine, but it kept making it worse. And the girl tried to kill him, but Officer Rigg grabbed her hair and threw her into a mirror, which does a pretty impressive scene transition. Detective Fisk is warned about the game with Officer Rigg, and they raid his house, and they find pictures of a lot of people. What else was I going to say? Oh yeah, Peter Strahm interrogates another person named Jill Tuck, who was the wife of John Kramer. We find out in a flashback that John Kramer used to own Meat Gideon packaging plant, and a man named Cecil Adams was responsible for the miscarriage of the son, Gideon. This makes John Kramer depressed, and something snaps in him, telling him he has to make him appreciate his life. So he makes him he makes Cecil push his fist towards knives. Yeah, that goes wrong because he falls into a razor cage. It's, oh my god, it's so brutal. So Peter Strahm is trying to figure out the location. Meanwhile, in some abandoned warehouse, Eric Matthews and Mark Hoffman are in another trap. Eric Matthews is hanging from the thing, and Hoffman is in a chair. And if Eric dies, he'll get electrocuted, and it'll kill him. Riggs' second test is an obese man who did unspeakable things, and he has to peck his eyes out with like a sickle or something. His third test is a couple named Rex and Morgan. Rex is like a teacher inside like a high school, and the wife is like taking all the abuse even though she shouldn't, and it's not good for her self-esteem. Yeah, Officer Rigg lets her save herself, pulling out all the spikes. It's also painful. And then we head to the Rigg's final test. I think that's his final test. His final test is Officer Rigg. Officer Rigg's final test is to save Eric Matthews. They tell him so many times, "Don't open the door," and open the door. And there's like a man wearing all black who resembles Zepp Hindle from the first movie, and he wears it's Art Blank, and Jigsaw was told him to play this game after. So Rigg busts down the door, he gets shot, and then Eric Matthews' head gets crushed by ice, and Hoffman gets electrocuted. And then Officer Rigg just shoots Art in the head, killing him instantly until he left behind a tape saying, "Oh, you failed your test, Rigg." And plot twist alert: Saw 3 and Saw 4 were happening at the same exact time, and Hoffman was another Jigsaw accomplice. So Peter Strahm goes into the room where Saw 3 ended off. He sees Jeff. He says, "Let me see your hands." He's like, "Where's my daughter?" And then shoots Jeff. He sees all the bodies in the place. And then Hoffman comes up and just locks the door, leaving him in there, and on a cliffhanger. So apparently Hoffman is the next heir to Jigsaw. This Saw 4 is not my favorite Saw movie, so it's kind of terrible. It feels like a terrible remake of the first movie, so I'm gonna have to put it in the bottom tier. But I did love the traps and the soundtrack and the green lighting, but yeah, man, I just prefer the first movie. And yeah, the accomplices are kind of this and that, but at least it's good. I mean, it's not good, but you know. Anyways, see you next month for Saw 5. Bye.